Good morning, brothers. Welcome to another episode of Porn Reboot Coach and the Porsche. Today we're going to talk about why you cannot change your mindset around success. Success in your reboot, success in your finances, success in your relationship, success in your physique, success in anything that you want to do. I'm in a good mood because I'm on my way back from the gym and one of my favorite jams is playing, Big in Japan. You guys know that song from the 80s? Big in Japan tonight, big in Japan, be tight, big in Japan. Oh, the eastern sea is so blue. Big in Japan, all right, baby. Let me not fuck up here because I don't, I'm not vocally gifted, but Alphaville, awesome song to work out to, in my opinion. My taste is a little different, I will admit. Alrighty guys, let's talk about this. Now this is just an idea that I am still developing, right, on why we cannot change our mindset. And when you say, JK, I know what to do. Like I know what to do. I've watched the YouTube videos, listened to the podcast, read the books. It is clear to me, but I just can't change my mindset about this thing. Dude, I read the books. I took the courses. Like, why? Why? I'm doing the affirmations. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. Going to the gym, working out, eating clean. Well, here's the thing. When you say you change your mind, you want to change your mind, you are implying, your mindset, you are implying that there is something wrong with your current mindset. But think about this. This isn't just something in your mind. This is something that is set in your mind. Mindset. It is screwed in there. It is an essential part of your mind. It's been there for a very long time. So it's not going to change overnight. So when you look at that thing that is a part of you for a long time and you say, I want to change it, there is a reason why, and that is because it is not serving you. Unfortunately, most of us then become very negative about it, which then becomes very challenging because you really have this sense of urgency to change it, but nobody has actually told you about how to change it. This is not something you're going to hear from a lot of gurus or self-improvement folks, right? This is just one of those things you pick up by going through the reboot journey, which is why it's so awesome. So it's a paradox, right? I want to change my mindset, but the mere fact that I want to change my mindset prevents me from changing my mindset because it only makes me feel negative and get desperate about it. Contrary to popular opinion, people say that, oh, you change your mindset by learning, like you learn how to change your mindset. The truth is, as human beings, we don't learn. And that's why the courses you're taking and the books you're reading and all that stuff you're doing doesn't work. That's why when you work with a coach or a therapist and they teach you how to change your mindset, it doesn't work either. Because as human beings, we don't learn. We actually adapt, right? That's how we actually learn, because we're very social creatures. We adapt via interaction. Because think about this. How did you pick up that mindset in the first place? Now you might say, well, I learned it, but how? Did you learn it from a book? Unlikely. There are mindsets you picked up by reading a book, but only by immersing yourself in the forums, in the lives, in the aura of individuals who have that same mindset. Your family, your religion, your culture, and so on. So how are you going to change a mindset that you have without doing the same? You want to change a mindset that you learned from your childhood or your teenage years by reading a book, right? By having a coach teach you? No, that's not how it works, guys. You have to change it the same way. That when you look at that mindset, it's so tightly screwed in. If you were to change it, obviously, whatever the new mindset is, you want it to be tightly screwed in as well, right? You want it to be really difficult to change this new positive mindset. Well, you have to do it the same way that you did originally, the way you gained the original mindset. And that is via social interaction and adapting. When we spend time with people, when we start communicating with these people, when we are friends with people who have the same mindsets, we begin to adopt it and adapt to those mindsets quite naturally. You've heard it even growing up, right? You lie with dogs, your parents say, what? You catch fleas. Oh, he was running with the wrong crowd. What do they mean? They mean that he learned those mindsets by spending time with those people, and then he adopted them. So you have to change the people that you are hanging out with. You really have to. You have to spend time with those people. You have to make them your friends. And this is why some of you who are struggling with pornography cannot seem to change year after year after year. It's not that your SAA group doesn't work. It's not that your pastor and the men's group that you're in doesn't work. It's just that maybe they have good intentions to help you quit pornography, but the mindset in that group is not in congruence with where you want to go. So if you're in a group where people are preaching 12-step stuff, and they're preaching like, oh, you're always going to be in recovery, and they're preaching that you have to give up your power to something else, and you're like, cool, like this is supposed to help me quit porn, definitely want to quit porn, but I just don't agree with any of those other things. Doesn't make me less religious, doesn't make me less of a Christian, doesn't make me less of anything. But you are really going to struggle because the mindset is not congruent, right? So this is why a lot of men are part of Porn Reboot. Why? Because not only do we help you quit pornography, but every other aspect of the mindset of the brothers in our program is congruent with what you want. You want to be fit. You want to be in an intimate relationship. Even if you don't want to be in an intimate relationship, maybe you want to have experiences, wonderful, intimate experiences with multiple beautiful women if you are a single man, and maybe in the future settle down, right? You want to be financially successful. You want to be financially free. You want to be fit and healthy. You want to be in a positive mindset. You want to be a leader. You want to contribute something to this planet. That is the mindset that you want to be around. And I see so many brothers just going to people because they are like, I will help you quit porn and be a super masculine man to your wife. I will help you be free of guilt and shame. Well, what of the rest of that person's life? What is the overarching mindset that you want to get? Is that somebody, I spoke about it, is that person aspirational? Just because they talk a good game about pornography, are they somebody you want to be like, right? Some people look at me and they're like, it's great that JK helps people quit pornography, but if you look at other aspects of my life and you're like, well, I don't like the fact that JK talks about freeing yourself from pornography, but he also emphasizes the need for a man to be financially free. Maybe you haven't resolved your financial issues, or you just think that those two things don't have a place. Maybe you're uncomfortable with the fact that I believe that all men should be fit and all young men should be strong, like physically strong, physically fit, and feel attractive and have great self-esteem. Maybe you just don't like hearing that message. Maybe you don't like hearing the message that before I got into a relationship, I had sex with lots of women. Maybe you're just like, ooh, bad, not good, right? That's okay. That means that those are mindsets you are not congruent with. Do not work with me, right? Watch the videos and get the Porn Reboot stuff, right? Quitting porn, but ignore the rest, and definitely don't come into the coaching program because all that stuff will probably turn you off. So this is the main point I wanted to share about mindset, brothers. So that's one way to change your mindset. I'll teach you two other ways, right? Easiest way to do so, if you're like, well, that sounds very challenging because I'm in a very low point now. I'm in survival mode. I feel like I'm isolating myself. Well, one of the best things you can do is you can start reading autobiographies of people who have the mindset that you want to have. Right now, those people are not readily available in your social circle, right? So one way to do that is to pick autobiographies of people whose lives you aspire to have, people who struggled in the same way you did, but overcame it. Why autobiographies and not instructional books or self-improvement books? Because autobiographies are actually a lot more accurate. Like, a lot of them have bullshit and people embellish their lives. We get that. But at the same time, as human beings, due to that social interaction thing, we are able to see this person's life story. We can see these different points in his life or her life as they went through struggles, as they talk about the very human part of going through it. And you can relate to that. Why? Because you were once a child, you were once a teenager. And when you read this, you have an intimate view into the lives of these successful people, right? So this is how you can get close to them, by really understanding their lives, how they grew up, the challenges that they faced. That's one of the ways to get into this right now if you have nothing, right? And the final way that you can do this is actually by, most people don't talk about this, but it is by serving the people who are living lives that you do not want to live, right? So that means whether it is helping people who are homeless, helping people who are drug addicts, helping people who are down on their luck, helping or supporting family members who have not made the greatest decisions and now need a little bit of help. And the reason why I say this is because whoever it is that you want to be like, whether it is physically, financially, whether it is mentally, I'll give you an example. There's somebody who could be physically fit, somebody could be healthy, eating right, working out all the time, doing the right things. And then on the other side of that spectrum is somebody who is overweight, somebody who has diabetic problems, someone who is building up diseases in their body because of their unhealthy lifestyle. Somebody could be wealthy, have the beautiful house, have financial freedom, is able to contribute to their church, contributes to causes that are important to them. They're able to do the things they want to do financially. And the other spectrum, there's somebody who's homeless because they just cannot seem to make ends meet. Anytime money comes into their hands, it flows out. They just don't believe that they're ever able to generate wealth. Then you have people who are happy. It doesn't matter whether they have money. It doesn't matter whether their health is good or bad. They're just always happy. They're just in a great mood. They have a very positive outlook of life. And then on the other hand, you have people who are constantly depressed. They are looking at every area of their life and all they can see is the areas that they don't measure up to. You can serve the people on the other end of the spectrum, right? And in doing so, you learn that their situation is just the inverse of where you want to be. And then you see the things that you can do to improve yourself. Same thing with people who are constantly getting divorced, constantly going through breakups, constantly single, even though they deeply desire to be in an intimate, loving relationship. So you can serve those people. And I'll give you guys 2 quick examples before I end this video. You know, I sold door-to-door, books door-to-door for many, many years, and I was known as a hood knocker, right? A hood knocker, back, you know, it's industry jargon, but it's a person who knocks in the hood. Like I would go to projects and I could sell Bibles to people in the projects because I understood how things work. I understood when money came from the government, right? I understood when the child support check came. I understood and I knew all these things. So I would go in there and I would help them with it. And you're like, well, why would you sell people a Bible? It's simply because many of these people, for them, religion is a very powerful anchor. And it was one of the things that they could use to climb out or to find comfort in the tough situation they were in. Now, even though I'm not religious, I have nothing against religion. I've seen religion help many people. I've seen that people need faith and so on. And so a lot of them just didn't read the Bible, not because they didn't want to or they weren't raised with it, but they just did not understand the word, right? They just didn't understand it. It was too much. Sometimes they didn't have the right education. So this was a Bible, a wonderful study Bible, broken down in a very simple form so they could understand things, the Hebrew, the Greek, the Aramaic, and so on. So I would go there and I would sell, but by looking at their lives and the decisions that they made, I was able to note over the course of 11 years that I did this, the things I should not do in my life. And I was able to do those things. I was able to avoid certain mistakes in my 20s because of that. And I'm very fortunate and thankful for that. Same thing in my relationship. I and my partner are now going on 14 years. And there were things that we would see in our friends or even people who were married. You know, there were a lot of people who would tell us things like, when are you guys going to get married? When are you guys going to get a kid? Why don't you just buy a house? Why don't you get a mortgage? Why don't you do this and do this? And we would see people's lives change. We will see people who were not ready to have a kid, have kids, and everything else fell apart. I understand that it's not easy to have a kid and it's a challenging thing, but there are people who did so when they weren't ready. And as a result, their pain of being a parent was imprinted on their children because they weren't ready. That's just something we saw. We saw people quickly fall in love and make certain decisions financially, you know, moving in with somebody, you know, within a month or 2 months of getting to know them. We saw people make repeated mistakes. And while our relationship was far from perfect and pretty much died at least 2 to 3 times in the course of 14 years, I'm thankful that we were able to still look at other people and learn from that, right? So again, we changed our mindsets due to the things that we observed. And brothers, you can do that. So in summary, the reason why you struggle with changing your mindset, my brother, is because the mere fact that you want to change it desperately implies that something is wrong with it. And it is something that is deeply ingrained in you. The easiest way to change it is to put yourself around the right people. Put yourself around the right friends who are doing the things that you want to do, and immerse yourself in that environment, even though it might be uncomfortable. Eventually, you are going to start adopting the mindsets of the people within your environment. It is a very human thing. When that happens, your brain goes from understanding to wisdom. Why? Because when you start seeing people doing these things, see, when you're on your own, right? Let's say you want to improve yourself financially, and you're not around people who are improving themselves financially, you're always going to talk yourself out of that mindset. You're always going to come up with reasons why you can't do it. Oh, that person is probably very lucky. Oh, JK, it's just his personality. He seems like a very hard-driving, disciplined person. But the truth, I was completely the opposite of that. At one point, I was going through homelessness. I was stealing from other people. There were times where I did things that I was not proud of. There were many years, over 7, 8, almost 9 years, when my bank account was constantly overdrawn, right? So it's very easy when you're not within that environment and around those people to identify those things. So you talk yourself out of it. Now, when you're with them, you don't have wisdom, right? But when you're around these people, you start seeing, oh, this is why this person does that. This is the reason why this person saves. Oh, this is the reason why this person had the same paycheck that I had, but they could do more than make ends meet. They could save money, right? They could invest. How are they able to do that when they make the same amount as me? Oh, each time they get their paycheck, they pay themselves first, right? They pay themselves first. They take part of that money, they put it in a savings account. They take part of it, they put it in an emergency account. They take part of it, they put it in an investment account, and they make sure that they live within their means. And then they repeat this over and over and over and over again. And then they get to a certain point where they make a small investment, and they never spend whatever they get from that small investment. Any money that's made from that small investment goes into investing in something else. In the meantime, in their career, their business, their work, they keep improving their skill set so that they can grow their income. And then they start realizing, oh, this money that I'm putting into the investment, I feel good doing that. It makes me feel good, and actually that's the thing that motivates me to keep working. Whereas the person on the other side who keeps spending what they have and thinking that they need to upgrade their lifestyle keeps feeling worse and worse about their job and their financial situation. Same job, same paycheck. But because one person is saving and investing even at a tiny amount, their entire mindset about the work they're doing completely changes. But how do you learn this? You don't learn this by sitting and not associating with that person. If all your friends are like the person who is saving and investing, well, you start understanding it. When you understand it, you get wisdom. Wisdom allows your mind to automatically change. You don't have to sit here watching YouTube videos of successful people trying to figure it out. Stop trying to figure it out. Go and spend the time with the successful people. Go and find the environments where the successful people are. I pay to spend time with successful people. Why? Because I can't hang out with my friends every day. All my friends are very successful. You think they have time? We have time to hang out. We meet up like once or twice a year. That's it. But we'll talk on the phone like every week or every other week. But I also still need like Zoom calls. I need to talk about family. I need to spend time. I need to talk to people about my pain. I need to have accountability partners. I need to support them in their pain and in their struggle. And by doing so, I gain wisdom and they gain wisdom, and we all grow together. Whereas the people who don't have those things sit on the outside. When you don't have those things, you're going to sit and watch people and you're just going to judge because you don't have wisdom, because you are not adopting the right mindset, because you're still hanging out with the wrong kind of people, right? So gentlemen, that's why you struggle to change your mindset. And this is the truth. You're not going to hear it anywhere else. People are not going to explain this to you. They're going to keep selling you books. They're going to keep selling you courses. They're going to keep regurgitating the lessons that they have learned from other people. But not many people are going to tell you the real game of how you go from nothing to something else. And it doesn't matter if you're already successful. If you're making 6 figures, if you're making high 5 figures and you're like, fuck it, I want to make $250K a year. I want to make 1.2. I want to take $1.5 million home. I know lots of people that do this. I know people who do it. I know people who take $120K cash money back home every month who started with 0. Crazy, isn't it? Right? All of it is here. That is the beauty of the human mind. You might be sitting here thinking, man, why are you telling us all of this? This is about quitting pornography. No, motherfucker, it's not about quitting pornography. It is about changing your life. Pornography is getting in the way of something else you want to do. And I would not be doing my job if I did not show you the path. I can't take you there. Show you the path and show you that you are the best expert at yourself and give you the game that you need to get there. All right? Enough said. I'm JK, your brother in the struggle. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Listen, you can watch me all day long, or you can schedule a call. Talk to the Reboot strategist. Join our program. Quit porn and change your life. You can do it. I've been doing this for a long time. I will go as far as to say I am the best on the planet at this time. Maybe somebody will be better than me at this time at helping ambitious men end their behavior with pornography, sex, and masturbation, get back in the driver's seats, and accomplish the things they want to accomplish in life. I don't give a shit. Fitness, I got it down. Finances, I got it down. Relationship, I got it down. I don't mean to sound like I'm bragging. I work my ass off on these things every single day. I can show you how to get there, whatever it is you want. The positive mindset, I am positive as fuck every single day. And I can teach you how to do it. I can show you the path. I can guide you. I can put you around men who are like that. Now, if you're negative, if you're the kind of person who just gets a short burst of motivation from this, if you're not a person who is ambitious, you have zero ambition, you just kind of like this and get a high from it, you're not going to struggle, you're not going to push yourself through this, do not book a call with my folks. Do not waste my Reboot strategist time. You must want it. And the first thing they're going to check is, are you doing the work on your own? What you've been doing? Oh, nothing. I just saw your video on YouTube and I just said, click, doot, doot, doot. I'm kidding. We wouldn't cut you off like that. We'll tell you, I'm sorry, my brother, because my Reboot strategists, they got shit to do too. All right? They want to talk to the right people. And like, I'm so sorry, you're not quite ready. When you start doing some work, when you've applied some of JK's free stuff and it has had an impact in your life, we will be happy to have you in here. When you show up and you start asking the right questions, right? Like, what is the withdrawal eliminator method? I heard about JK talking about that, right? What is Reboot baseline? When we hear, oh man, this dude has been doing the work, you can come in. But let me make it clear, we don't need your money. I already made my money, brothers. All right, I run multiple businesses. So those of you who are still thinking, I get it. There's some guys out there who are like, oh yeah, it's just another pitch. It isn't. I'm straight up telling you, do not apply, even if you have the money, but you are not committed, you are not ambitious, and you don't really want the things that I have talked about here, all right? Now, this is turning into a rant. I just said goodbye, all right? I'm out, brothers. Bye. I'm going to have a great day. You guys have a great day too.